Welcome back. We have another exciting meal in a jar video, and this time it is baked goods, and I am so excited to have these on hand because if you know, recently I have been buying store-bought mixes just for the convenience, and now I don't have to. So today we are going to be making chocolate chip cookie mix, brownie mix, yellow cake mix, chocolate cake mix, and biscuit mix. So on to the first recipe. I am going to start off by making biscuits. Now, of course, I'm already running low on flour. I do have the flour out, but I want to use up all of the flour that's in here before I add the next flour in. So I am going to get 2 cups of flour into this jar. Whoops, close enough. All right, time to refill. I did recently get 25-pound bags of flour again. It's been a minute since I've done that. Hopefully I find that I like that because this is just so convenient to open a 5-pound bag of flour and just dump it in. Okay, let's get the rest of that second cup. And I'm of course not super precise, just like when I'm baking. Now here's where this recipe can vary. You can put Crisco in here. I didn't think that that sounded like something that I wanted to do. Just questionable to me. Or butter. I mean, I keep my butter out on the counter. It'd probably be fine, but I am going to use butter powder instead. So we are going to put some butter powder in, and I will link all of the recipes below. So don't worry about trying to remember or write down how much I'm putting in of each. Now this one is super simple. There's only 2 more ingredients. We have baking powder and then we have salt. So then when we want to use it, what we're going to do is mix it all together, which we could do by just shaking the jar. And then we will add a cup of water, cold water, and then we've got our biscuit dough. Or, you know, you could add a little bit less and kind of play with it to see exactly how much you want for like how dry. This would be great for dumplings in a soup, biscuits just on top of like chicken pot pie, or just biscuits on their own. So with that one done, and I am loving that I'm getting the big mess going only once. And also I have a new apron that my husband got me for Christmas, and I usually don't wear aprons in the kitchen, and the reason for that is I get really overheated really easily. So we'll see how long this lasts, but it's very cute and it's very practical and it won't have all this flour on me. So on to the next recipe. Okay, I need to use the recipe for this next one, and I'm hoping it's all going to fit in this jar. We're making a yellow cake mix. And we need to start the same way with 2 cups of flour. Followed by 1.5 cups of sugar. And I'm just going to do this half cup measure 3 times because I'm pretty sure I can get the half cup measure to get into my jar without spilling. Ooh, we're cutting it close here. 3, uh-oh. I don't know if it's gonna fit. Half a cup of milk powder goes in, and I think, let's see if I can pack it down a little bit to get some more room. Okay, milk powder. We did it. Tablespoon of baking powder again, and this didn't call for salt, which is weird, so I'm gonna add a little bit in because I feel like it should have it. And there we have it, yellow cake mix. I cannot believe that. We got it to fit. Wipe the rim. We're not canning, but I feel like it's still a good thing to do. Okay, this next one is a chocolate cake mix, and I'm going to cut the recipe in half because I can just tell it's not going to fit in here based on the amount of ingredients. That it calls for. So we are going to try our hardest to cut this recipe in half on the fly. Okay, that was a cup of flour. Now we're doing a cup of sugar. I love baking. This isn't exactly baking, but this is still fun. It's just like making concoctions. And a third of a cup of milk powder. So we're just gonna do half of a third-ish. Okay, 3/4 of a cup of cocoa, not baking powder, but I'm gonna do like heaping third because we're cutting it in half. Whoa, 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 whoa. There we go. Okay, it says 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder, but you're cutting the recipe in half. I'm just gonna do a little bit and a little bit of salt. And then the special ingredient here is espresso powder, which I don't have, so I'm going to use some instant coffee granules, and that'll be just fine. And our cut in half recipe, as we always do, right? That's what we do. We cut it in half because we're a family of 2. This chocolate cake is done. Now what I've done with all these recipes is I've written the instructions on them, but it's basically just the same as if you were to get a box cake mix from the store. Okay, I just put a reminder on there to cut it in half so I don't forget when I go to make it. If you were to make this full recipe, you would definitely need a 1/2 gallon. However, I feel like that would be a lot of chocolate cake. This next one is actually my favorite all-time brownie recipe, and I have converted it to be able to make it into a meal in a jar. And so we're doing 1/2 cup of flour and then 1/2 cup of cocoa powder. And this is only 1/3 cup, so I'm gonna add a little bit more. And then this is kind of funny, but 1 1/8 cups of sugar. So this is 1/2 cup. And this is another 1/2 cup. And this is 1/4 cup, which is also 1/8. We of course need our smidgen of salt and our 3/4 tablespoon of baking powder. Now when it comes time to making this, we will just mix in 2 eggs, 1/2 cup melted butter, tablespoon of oil, and vanilla if we would like. You could of course do just eggs and oil or just eggs and butter. But the brownies are done. Then last up is going to be chocolate chip cookies, and we just had the holidays and I am out of chocolate chips in my container, so there we go. We're now refilled, kind of. Okay, chocolate chip cookies starts out with 1.5 cups of flour, which this is interesting because usually you would cream the butter and sugar together, so we're gonna have to see how these turn out. I bet it'll turn out good enough. Whoops, 1.5. I mean, you buy it in the store, right? All mixed together, so it should be fine. Next up is a 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda, followed by 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder. We need 1/2 cup of brown sugar, and my brown sugar might take a second to come out because I keep my brown sugar in the freezer because it never gets dried out that way. But I forgot to take it out before starting, and so it definitely is a little bit hard because it's frozen. But once it thaws, it is super soft and super hydrated, just like you would want your brown sugar to be. Okay, we got our 1/2 cup of brown sugar that is going in, and now we need 1/2 cup of white sugar. Oh, you know, I think I'm gonna take this brown sugar and just spread it out a little bit because it'll look cuter. Totally unnecessary. Okay. White sugar going in, and then 1/2 cup of chocolate chips. Where'd they go? And that one's for me. Cute. So to cook this up, you need an egg, 1/2 cup of butter, and vanilla. You'll cream those together first. Dump the rest of this in, and you'll have some chocolate chip cookies. All right, there you have it. Here are our 5 mixes. I am so excited to have these on the pantry shelf, and this is also a great way for me to use my quart jars. Oh, the cats are fighting in the background. My quart jars only get used for my sourdough starter and then for tea in the summer, but it is not summertime, so we do not have tea. Anyways, if you enjoyed... Hey, guys, no fighting. Sorry about the cats in the background, but if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you're interested in other meal in a jar recipes, So if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you're new here and haven't yet, please subscribe. I'd love to see you. If you're interested in seeing a video of more meal in jars, I did some seasoned rices that I will link here. And I've also done some marinades, which I will link here. Thanks so much for being here, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.